being
No.
radioed? Okay.
Okay. Alex, go talk to her. Alex.
No.
Okay.
I don't want none of this upset.
All right.
Okay.
Which one?
Well, can you tell her you're not calling?
I'm gonna get yelled at. No, it's not.
No.
Oh, I see what you put on.
Oh, sure, okay.
No, I'm gonna get yelled at by her. I'm gonna get kicked out.
So, ma'am,
Sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, okay.
Let me clear that off.
You're okay. I'm good. You're okay for real. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, sweetie.
Listen, ma'am, I'm really sorry that we have to meet under these circumstances, but the reason why we're here is because your son Jonathan was exchanging lewd messages with, I believe, an 11 or a 13. How old was the girl?
I think Emily was 9 at the time,
Okay.
and Maddie's 13.
Okay, so he was exchanging lewd messages with a 9 and a 13-year-old girl. Some of these, he had video calls in which he was masturbating on the video. And we're here right now because he was going to meet a 13-year-old girl for sex, and he invited her over to the house to have sex with a 13-year-old girl while you guys were at work. And that's why we're here. We're really sorry that we have to meet under these circumstances. I'm really sorry that you have to hear this about your son right now after you're coming home from work.
Did he know how old they were?
Yes.
We have copies of all the text messages and everything.
Can I have copies of those?
I'm sure he can get them to you. Yes, ma'am.
He who?
Alex, the
Yeah, the guy who's talking to Jonathan right now, we can definitely provide you copies, absolutely.
yes, ma'am.
And you are?
I'm just here helping and filming. You know, what we're doing is, you know, we are putting our safety at risk too when it comes to these situations because you never know what can happen. So I think the more people that come, the better, and the more people that film and document, the more likely everything becomes
The
addressed in a
safer we
very clear,
are.
cut, and safe fashion so people understand what's happening.
The safer we
And it's
are
not just
and
keeping the
everybody
community
else.
safe.
Are you part of an organization or? Okay.
You could say that. It's basically a watchdog group. Have you ever seen like Chris Hansen versus Predator?
I don't watch TV.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, we don't even have cable.
so we
Well,
said
you're not missing much.
Yeah.
Especially with the television now, man. You're really not missing anything.
that's no joke at
Yeah,
all.
you look at our library, the room you approached me in, movies and all police dramas. We don't watch regular TV at all.
I mean, honestly, old movies are where it's at.
Yeah.
I was kind of envious at like the DVD collection that
Absolutely.
y'all had.
So you see what kind of movies we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, basically what we do is we run a group that kind of teams up with law enforcement to catch adults talking to kids on the internet.
Okay. So where do we go from here? What are we doing?
Honestly,
I think your best bet is to probably talk to Alex after he is finished talking
Yes.
to Jonathan. We're here helping out. We're just here to help out, make sure Alex is safe, make sure the person that we're talking to is safe, just make sure everybody's safe, and we're just adding numbers to help do that. So I think that your best bet, honestly, is to talk to Alex because he will have all the information for you. They have pictures of all the messages. They have. Do we have film of the video calls?
mm-hmm.
We have film of the video
Yes.
calls. So there is like a mountain of stuff that you can look at if that's what you want to do.
Okay. How long has this been going on?
With Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
I think. What's your name?
Aubrey.
I think. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
As far as with Maddie's account,
Yeah.
it has been going on for maybe half a week.
Okay.
Not even a full week. Now, Emily's account, I'm not sure how long that happened for.
Okay.
We're so sorry.
Yeah,
This
I'm really
isn't-
sorry too.
This isn't easy.
We're constantly yelling at him to get off the phone. He plays in game rooms and then video chats everybody. And I mean, he's a good kid. He goes to work, he pays his rent, but when he comes home, he's just on the phone. When he moved here after a divorce. He doesn't have any friends. I don't even know if he's made friends at work. He lives on the phone. I don't know that he even knows anybody in this town.
And how long has he been here?
February, maybe?
So it's pretty recent. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just getting over a divorce, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's a pretty traumatic experience.
Yeah, I
can
hate
imagine.
that for him.
Yeah. He's a good kid, but he doesn't stay off the phone.
Yeah.
His life is his telephone. He doesn't go out and socialize, which I guess I should be happy he's not hitting the bars and hitting the drugs and everything else, but I'd like to see him be more sociable without the damn phone.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
I would rather, if I were in your situation, I'd rather my grown son hit the bars than try to, proposition girls who are in middle school and younger.
True.
Sure.
I mean, at least it hadn't gone any further than that. It's still on the phone. Granted, it's not right.
No,
None of it is right.
It's concerning.
I'm sorry, I just didn't recognize that truck noise. We never had big trucks go down this road. So I guess we just need to find out where to go from here. The parents of these girls, I assume you guys are not parents of the kids.
No,
You're
we
just
are,
part of the
we are
organization.
Not, we are not parents, but
Well, I meant parents of the kids.
no.
Are the parents involved? Do they want to press charges? Do we know anything about where anything's going?
That is definitely something Alex would have to discuss a little further with
And
you.
who is Alex as
He's-
far as...
Alex is the guy with the beard who does this stuff, right? I'm sorry if I'm-
The big bearded man that runs our
Just part of the watch
organization.
group? Okay.
He's basically the founder of it, I guess you could say.
Do you have
Yeah.
a business card or contact information or something
I'm
about
sure
the group? I mean,
he can.
Alex can provide all of that for you.
Yes, yes. We're just kind of fill-ins. We've not got much information,
No,
but
we're just here helping.
yeah, basically.
And did Jonathan grow up here?
no. No, we grew up he grew up in Kentucky. He got married. He was living in Indiana. I moved down here with Curtis. I've been here 3.5 years.
Do you like it here?
I love it here. I hated the winters up north. I hate the cold. There's my chair. 120 degrees during the summer, and that's where I sit to read.
I'm the same way. I grew up in New York City, and I left as soon as I could to move to Austin.
I left New York pretty quickly. I was born in New York. My parents were in the process of moving to Florida, went back to New York for the rest of their furniture, and I was accidentally born 2 weeks early. So by the time I was 2 days old, I was no longer in New York.
God has a mysterious way of doing
I wasn't an accident.
Oh, I
was
know.
just born 2 days early.
I'm just saying that. I'm just kind of trying to share another medical anomaly that's happened, right?
My daughter was born 2 weeks early. I had a liver issue.
My first son was 2 months early.
Oh, wow.
Just phenomenal.
Preemie baby.
He was a preemie.
How much did he weigh?
313,
Oh
and
my
he went down to 3'7" before he started gaining weight.
Oh, so tiny.
He was really tiny for the longest time. In fact, when he started kindergarten, the school he went to required boys to have their shirts tucked in and wear a belt. And he was still wearing 3T clothes. There's no such thing as a belt. We had to sew belt loops onto his pants, and he wore a leather dog collar as a belt.
No, dude.
Well, in this, in today's set of circumstances, they're trying to normalize kids wearing leather dog collars, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, this was just a
Love your shirt.
plain
boys.
old leather, no spike. I mean, it looked like a belt. And, he wore it for 2 years. And then suddenly around age 13, he shot up. He was this tall forever. And then all of a sudden, in like 2 years' time, he was taller than me. Now he's much taller than me. He's been in the Army for 13 years.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Well,
And is he happy there?
he is. He's thrilled. He doesn't like moving every couple of years.
I mean, who does, right?
Right. But he was raised Catholic. His wife was raised Catholic. There's no such thing as birth control. So every time he moves, there's like an extra kid or two with him.
oh goodness.
He's got Zara, Evelyn, Nevaeh, Mackenzie, JJ, Chloe, and the new baby. 7 kids.
Well, there's something to be said about that, and once you reach the threshold of having a certain number of kids, the more kids actually helps you, because then the older kids kind of started just assuming more responsibility to just take care of the younger ones, so you don't really have to do as much.
Right.
Especially when they're 7, because like the oldest one's probably a teenager or a young adult, so now you can go do whatever you want to do, and now the older one gets to take care of the kid more, and now you have an extra hand. Now you got an extra helping hand around the house, or if you have land, there's that.
This last move, he ended up stationed out in North Carolina now, and they bought a farmhouse. So they've got a whole farm, so he's got enough people to help run it. 3-4 years from now, there's no telling where he's going to end up moving.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't move into some small city or something and end up...
With
With
6 or 7 more.
Well, I think his wife would have a problem with that.
Oh goodness.
No, just they're so countrified
Hey.
as far as the family and the growing the food for the groceries and everything else.
I love it.
I don't know that he could live in the middle of a city. City life, apartment life, townhouse
That's me.
life, anything
I'm
like
trying to learn how to grow my own food and become more independent, especially after these past 2 years. So I get it. I understand completely.
Yeah.
I lived in Kentucky for a long time. And we had the chickens and we raised the rabbits for food, the chicken for food. We'd go hunting. We always had deer in the freezer. I still have deer in the freezer. Grew
Love
and
me some
canned
deer
the own
meat.
vegetables, and I loved it.
Love deer meat.
Yeah, deer is amazing. So how old is Jonathan's kid?
6.
She's a 6-year. Oh wow. Okay.
And he hasn't seen him in probably 5 years.
So he's been divorced for 5 years, and he just moved to Del Rio. So what was Jonathan doing before he came? Because I was under the impression that it was a recent divorce.
No, he got divorced and was living with another girlfriend in Indiana. And then they broke up and he moved down here.
Okay, so he went from a marriage to a long relationship to a breakup. And what was there? I don't want to ask anything like too personal, so I want you to be comfortable with whatever you ask. But is there a reason why he lost touch with his son after the divorce?
She wouldn't allow him to see him. She still won't.
Is there did she give a reason for why?
She got remarried. Her new husband is daddy now. Jonathan, she doesn't want Jonathan in the picture at all.
But Jonathan still has to pay child support,
Yes.
even though he's not allowed to see the kid at all. And
Now-
that's horrible.
It is. And he doesn't drive. He has no intention of getting his driver's license. He doesn't drive.
And how does he get to work? Does he ride a bike or does he
He
walk?
rides his bike. Yeah, he only works around the corner at Walmart. It's less than a mile.
Okay.
So he just rides his bike back and forth.
And he has no interest. So he's never driven a car before? Or had a license?
He knows how to drive a car. He was taught, but he has no.
Even when he was in Kentucky and Indiana, you didn't like that's so mind-boggling to live in a place like that with no car.
Jonathan, when he was growing up in Kentucky, when he got his first job, and I still think this is absolutely hilarious because kids nowadays would have no concept of doing this. But Jonathan's first job was at Dollar Tree. We were way out in the country. He rode his bike 6 miles to work a 5-hour shift at minimum wage, to drive home 6 miles.
Must have been in good shape.
It was. He kept in good shape.
Did John?
And then he came home and worked on the farm. So
Did Jonathan play any sports when he was younger?
Jonathan's very uncoordinated. He can't run in a straight line. He can't catch. He never played sports. Even local neighborhood kids throwing a football around, he didn't join in because they picked on him because he couldn't run, he couldn't catch.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm
Even
sorry.
his own brother.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
But,
I got bullied a little bit when I was a kid because I had developmental problems and didn't start growing into my body until I was like in middle school.
mm-hmm.
So I understand that completely. It's horrible. I'm just fortunate that I got coordinated and that took care of itself.
He's still pretty uncoordinated. In fact, if you ever watch him write anything, his hand shakes really bad until the pen actually touches the paper.
Do you know if he had any kind of learning or developmental or emotional issues? Any issues that were diagnosed by a doctor at all?
No, not particularly.
Has he been evaluated for depression or anxiety? He might
Not that I know of.
He might need to.
Yeah, I would look.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if how he's feeling is manifesting in something like that.
Yes.
It's very fortunate that you have someone like Alex who's been doing this for a very long time. That's very kind, very patient, and very and willing to sit down and let Jonathan share his side of the story.
Yeah.
But the climate around people like that is never going to be welcoming, and it never should be. And you don't want him to run into somebody who's just you don't want Jonathan to run into a total hothead when it comes to that. So I think
Jonathan's a hothead.
a hothead who's coordinated that. You know what I mean? Like,
He's always had a temper because he's always tried to defend himself against kids picking on him.
mm-hmm.
And you saw it was like when I walked into the house. I don't want to talk to her. She's going to kick me out. Before I even said hello to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
he gets very defensive.
right, and the way he was, just even how he's been communicating with Alex and the way he was communicating with you, I wouldn't be surprised. And I have a degree in psychology, right? I have a bachelor's in psychology. I would not be surprised if there's some undiagnosed issues that probably should be addressed.
I would love to sit down with you and pick your brain, by the way. Just saying. That's what I'm in school for, too.
Alright.
Psychology.
Yeah, we could talk about that, definitely. But they're definitely. I would definitely have somebody look at that for
Yes.
sure, because you don't want this to continue manifesting at all. It's not
Now,
healthy.
he doesn't have insurance or medical coverage or anything. How would he get help?
I think you guys have to talk. That's a discussion that I'm not really fit to have with you, but
I just didn't know if you guys had
we don't have connections to do
connections.
that. But
That's
you
what I
could
was
call the health
looking for.
insurance marketplace with Obamacare. Like there's that.
That, or you could also call the the National Mental Health Association, and they can direct you in a direction of so in my area we have the crisis center, and there are certain days of the week that people can come up there without insurance to get help, to get psychiatric help, psychological help, counseling, medications filled, stuff like that. So I don't know about this particular area, but I'm sure that you could get that information, because I know that it's kind of a growing thing, that it's more widely available to everybody. So
Yeah, I would definitely strongly take a look at that. I think that's important.
yeah.
And so did Jonathan ever try to go to court and fight for his right to see his kid?
No, because where he was at in Indiana, because he doesn't drive, she moved. There was no way for him to get there.
And he, okay.
She wouldn't let him see him. So when she moved, he didn't pursue visitation rights or anything. He has visitation rights.
So he does. Okay, so that I was under the assumption that
Yes.
I was under the assumption
No,
that
no,
he was
he
not
has-
allowed
he-
to see his kid at all.
He has visitation rights. She will not allow it. And he doesn't have the money or the ability to drive up there, to go to court, or anything else.
And so none of this motivated him ever to get his driver's license or get a better job or do anything, because if you have the money to pay, he still has the money to pay child support.
It comes right out of his paycheck. He doesn't have a choice.
It goes through the AG.
Yeah, it goes right out of his paycheck.
Right, but he still has a job that gives
Yeah.
him money.
Yeah.
And it's it's always interesting just to see maybe there was a reason, maybe like did she allege anything, like any kind of abuse or behavior problems when
No, she was pretty much a slob. When they first got married, they moved. And I got them food and dishes because they didn't have anything. She was right out of high school.
really? So he married, and Jonathan's like 31, right?
Yeah.
And so Jonathan married her 6 years ago? You said it was about 6 years ago, right?
7.5, 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so,
And then they moved into the apartment, and I'd go over there to visit. Jonathan would come home from work. She was sitting playing video games. Dishes weren't done, laundry wasn't done, food wasn't cooked, the place was a mess. He'd come home from work, and he'd have to cook dinner. On his day off, he'd have to take the laundry down to the laundry room to wash it. She didn't work at all. She stayed home. It got old quick. He got tired of it. They started arguing about her not doing anything, and she finally said, "I thought you loved me. Why are you making me do anything?" And it
yeah, if you could grab that, I would love it. Thank you so much.
what kind of connection you have?
I have an iPhone, man. Thank you. I like.
No, I meant the plug-in. I don't know if.
I have a USB.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Is it a USB? I think it's a USB, right? I may have something in my car if need be, but I think it'll be all right.
Really?
All right. Well. Crazy. Huh?
I can't imagine a life. I can't imagine what that is like.
Yeah, right. Like it's.
When you have enabling parents like that.
Yeah. This is like.
Just like Henry.
Oh, man! Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that so much. You're so you're so generous. I really appreciate that. Oh crap! It's the wrong.
It is the wrong one.
Yeah, it's the wrong one.
Do you have a wide USB on yours?
I have. It's like the iPhone thing.
Oh, I don't have an iPhone.
Here.
But if you have a cord.
Do you have a cord for an iPhone?
No, but don't they? One of them.
Yeah, ask them. Yeah.
Yeah, because as long as it has the USB on one end. you can
Yeah,
plug
that'd
it
be-
in. These things are great.
They're great. Yeah, I used to have one. I
keep it plugged in, but we also take it on trips and stuff because it's got the solar charger on it.
Oh, and you have multiple charging. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where have you guys traveled to?
We went to Florida. We went up to Kentucky. We went on the Corvette Caravan.
Okay.
We went up to Kentucky when my mom's passing. We haven't traveled much in the past 2 years. Nobody has.
Yeah, or you've traveled a ton. It's weird. how things are.
Alex said he's got one in the car. Do you know the green pickles charger?
I don't know. I have one in my car too. I can just go grab one.
I gotta get some anyway. I mean, if you want to come.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. I'll meet you back out here.
Absolutely, yeah. My car is right.
Is that pickles?
Pickles. Where the hell's my car? What? You got a light? Yo, they're really like.
Excuse.
Oh, I know. They're really.
Your kids. Like,
Huh?
I go for it. No wonder they just leave. No wonder they said fucking no this time.
Dude, they're really saying, like, that lady is saying the quiet part out loud. Like, yo, he was right out of high school and they've been together 6 years. I'm like, oh, so how long would they date? I'm just gonna start asking those questions. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
I did hear in there that he told Alex they were both like 17 or 18 at the same time, but
Yeah, so he's lying to Alex.
yeah, that don't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. This is really good that we're talking to the mom right now.
Oh yeah.
This is really good. And we're just like, I gotta. But my phone is at. Well, it's fine. It should be. I'm sure it's being wrapped up soon. But that kid definitely has something wrong with him.
Yep. For sure.
That kid is like. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. Yo, you know what I'm getting? Michael, my phone's right here. You know what I'm getting? Out with this kid is that kid. If you actually had been a real 13-year-old, he would have tried to like date you for 3 years.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. I need to make a police report and have a cop come out here. So we are parked at 1-3 Sage Drive. Is it drive or trail?
I think. I don't know. I don't want to go off my live IG. I think it's.
It's Sage Brush. So we run a like a watchdog organization group, kind of like Hanson versus Predator. So the 13-year-old girl is actually equally for this one. We post photos of them that are edited and then instructions on the way for grown men to reach out to us and sexual basically. My name is Mary Alexander. Yes, so his address, the address that he is at, that we are at, is 113 Sage Brush Trail in Del Rio. But right now, me and one of our other guys, we're sitting in the car just up the street.
Alright. Hey, are we gonna go back inside and talk to that lady? Alright. No.
We're in a 2021 Honda CRV, I think it is. White.
Alright, I'm gonna go back and talk to her, okay? And I'm gonna just
Okay.
Or is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yeah.